Hi everyone. Today we look at 4 special Lincoln wheat penny coins from the United States. These coins are rare and can be worth huge amounts, from $250 to as much as $35,000. In this video, we'll talk about the history, design, and what makes certain wheat pennies so valuable today. This penny was made in 1952 and has a small letter, D, under the date. That D means the coin was made at the Denver Mint. These 1952 D wheat pennies are very common. Millions of them were made, and many people saved them over the years. Because of that, they are easy to find today. If you have one that was used a lot and has some wear, it is usually only worth a few cents. Most of these coins in average shape sell for around 5 to 30 cents, depending on how worn they are. If your 1952 D penny still looks shiny and clean, it could be worth a little more. Coins that were never used and kept in good shape are called uncirculated or mint state coins. These are given grades based on how perfect they look. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the better the coin's condition. A mint state 1952 D wheat penny that has a red color, meaning it kept its copper shine, might get a grade of MS 66. A coin like that can sell for around $30. That's a nice price for a coin that once was only worth 1 cent. There are also 1952 D wheat pennies that have a grade of MS 67 red. These are even more rare because the coin must be nearly perfect with no marks or damage. An MS 67 red 1952 D penny is harder to find, and that's why it sells for more. These can be worth about $280 or sometimes even more if a collector really wants it. The red color is important because copper coins turn brown over time. A red coin means it was stored well and still looks fresh, just like when it was made. The most interesting version of this coin is the 1952 D/S wheat penny. This is called a repunched mint mark error. That means when the D mint mark was added, it was stamped over a faint S by mistake. If you look closely, you can still see the old S hiding under the D. This kind of mistake happened at the mint, and only a few of these coins were made before the problem was fixed. That makes this coin much harder to find, and collectors really want it. If your coin has this D over S mint mark, it could be worth a lot more. A 1952 D/S wheat penny that is in very good shape and gets a grade of MS 65 can be worth between $220 and $290. That is a nice amount for a small coin. Some of these coins in even better shape could sell for higher prices, depending on how strong the error is and how clean the coin looks. But for most 1952 D pennies, if there is no mint mark error and the coin is not in perfect shape, the value stays low. Most of them are worth under $1, and even the better ones are usually under $300 unless they are very rare or have a clear mistake from the mint. If you have one, check the mint mark carefully with a magnifying glass. Look to see if there is a faint S under the D. Also check if the coin still has its red color and no big marks or scratches. A clean, bright coin with a mint error could be something special. The 1947 wheat penny was made in Philadelphia, so it has no mint mark under the date. This coin looks normal at first glance. It shows Abraham Lincoln on the front and has 2 wheat stalks on the back, like all wheat pennies. Many of these pennies were made and used in daily life. People used them to buy candy, soda, or newspapers. Today, these pennies are still easy to find in old jars, boxes, or coin rolls. Most 1947 wheat pennies are very common, and if they have been used a lot, they are not worth much. A regular one that shows signs of wear is usually worth just a few cents. In slightly better shape, it might be worth around $1 or $2. But even though most 1947 pennies are common, some are worth much more. It depends on how well the coin was kept and if it has any rare mint errors. The most valuable 1947 wheat pennies are the ones that are still in mint state, meaning they were never used. These coins are clean, shiny, and have no scratches. If a coin is in perfect condition and still has its red copper color, it is called red mint state, or MS red. Coin experts give coins a grade based on their condition. The scale goes from 1 to 70, with higher numbers meaning better condition. A 1947 wheat penny that is graded MS 67 plus red is very rare. This kind of coin has very few marks and still looks brand new. One of these rare coins sold for around $17,500. That is a lot of money for a 1-cent coin. Only a few 1947 wheat pennies are known to be in this perfect grade, and collectors are willing to pay a lot for them. The reason it is so valuable is not just because of the date, but because the coin is in amazing condition and kept its original color. Most coins from that year have turned brown or have marks from handling, so finding one in perfect red condition is not easy. Some 1947 wheat pennies also have a mint error called a double die obverse. This happens when the coin design is stamped twice by mistake. If you look closely at these coins, you might see that the numbers in the date or the letters, like Liberty or In God We Trust, appear doubled or have a shadow effect. These double die coins are not very common, but they are out there. If you find one of these error coins in good shape, it can be worth a few $100s. If it is also in mint condition, with no scratches or wear, it might sell for even more. So while most 1947 wheat pennies are only worth a few cents, the very best examples, with perfect red color and no damage, can be worth thousands. The most expensive ones are those graded MS67 plus red, and they are extremely rare. If your coin also has a double die error, that can add more value. These details matter a lot to collectors. Condition, color, and rare errors all make a big difference in how much a penny is worth. Always look at your coin closely. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Check for doubling in the letters or numbers and see if the color is still red and shiny. This is a wheat penny made in 1941. It was made in Philadelphia, so it has no mint mark. On the front, you can see a picture of Abraham Lincoln. On the back, there are 2 wheat stalks, one on each side. That is why it's called a wheat penny. This coin was made for everyday use. Many people used it to buy things like candy, milk, or bread back in the day. Most 1941 wheat pennies are still easy to find. People find them in jars, old boxes, or even in pocket change. Because so many were made, most are not worth a lot of money. A regular 1941 penny with no errors is worth only a few cents, maybe 5 to 15 cents if it's in average shape. If it is a little shiny or clean, it might sell for $1 or $2. But there are special 1941 pennies that are not common. These rare coins have something called a double die obverse. That means the machine that made the coin stamped it twice by mistake. If you look at one of these coins closely, you might see that the words like Liberty or In God We Trust look doubled. Even the numbers in the date, 1941, may look like they are printed twice. This is not damage, it's a real mint error. These double die error coins are very rare. That's what makes them valuable. If you find a 1941 penny with this kind of error, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. If the coin is still shiny and in great condition, it can be worth even more. Some of these error coins, in top condition, are worth thousands of dollars. One of the best examples of this kind of coin was graded MS67RD, which means it is in perfect shape and still has its red color from the copper. That coin sold for around $35,000. Not all 1941 pennies are worth that much. But if you find one with a strong double die error and it is not scratched or damaged, it could be worth around $20,000. The better the condition, the more money it is worth. Even coins with small errors or light doubling can be worth some money if they look nice and shiny. So if you ever find a 1941 wheat penny, check it carefully. Use a magnifying glass to look at the words and numbers. If anything looks doubled, it might be special. Also, look at the color. If it is still red or shiny like a new penny, that's even better. Keep the coin safe and don't clean it, because cleaning can lower the value. Collectors love old pennies with errors. That's why a small copper coin from 1941, which once bought candy, can now be worth thousands of dollars. It's not just about the age of the coin. It's about the condition, the shine, and the errors. A regular penny may not seem special, but a rare one with the right kind of error can be worth big money today. The 1958 D wheat penny was made in Denver. You can tell because it has a small letter, D, under the date on the front of the coin. This was the final year that wheat pennies were made. After 1958, the U.S. Mint changed the design on the back of the penny to show the Lincoln Memorial instead of wheat stalks. Because of that, many people saved 1958 pennies, especially the 1958 D1s. A very large number were made, over 800 million of them. That is why most of these coins are very common today. If you find a 1958 D penny that was used a lot and has wear or scratches, it is usually worth only 1 cent. These circulated coins are everywhere and easy to find. Even if the coin is a little shiny and in better condition, it still might only be worth a few cents or maybe 10 to 20 cents. If the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it was never used and still looks new, it can be worth a little more. A 1958 D penny with a grade of MS65, which means it is in mint condition with very few marks, might sell for around $1 or just a little more, like $1.13. Now, there are some 1958 D pennies that are not common at all. These are the ones with mint errors. One of the most famous errors is the double die obverse. This means the coin was struck twice on the front side by mistake, and the letters or numbers may look like they have a shadow or a second image. The double design is easy to see if the error is strong. The 1958 double die penny is one of the rarest and most valuable penny errors known. Only 3 of these coins are confirmed to exist. One of them was sold for over $134,000, which is a huge price for a 1-cent coin. This coin did not have a D mint mark, so it was made in Philadelphia. But collectors still check 1958 D coins too, just in case other rare errors were made. Besides double die errors, there are also other mistakes that can happen at the mint. Some 1958 D pennies have off-center strikes. This happens when the coin is not lined up right during minting. Part of the design may be missing or shifted to one side. These off-center coins can be worth tens of dollars or even over $100, depending on how much of the design is missing and how clean the coin looks. Another error is a clipped planchet, which means a small part of the coin is cut off. These are also worth more than regular pennies and can sometimes sell for over $100 if they are in good shape. Most 1958 D pennies will never sell for hundreds of dollars. But if a coin is in near perfect shape, with no marks or wear, it might be worth more. A coin graded MS66 red, which means it is bright and still has its red copper color, can sometimes reach up to $250. This is only true if the coin has a clean surface, no spots or scratches, and a strong red tone. These kinds of coins are rare and need to be kept in perfect condition to sell for a high price. So, while most 1958 D wheat pennies are worth just 1 cent or a little more, some can be worth big money if they have a strong mint error or are in top grade. If you find a 1958 D penny, check it carefully. Look at the date and letters to see if there is any doubling. Also, check the shape of the coin. If something looks off, it could be an error. And if the coin is still red and shiny with no damage, it might be worth sending to a coin grading company to get checked. So if you find any old wheat penny, check carefully for doubling, mint marks, odd shapes, or misstrikes. Even a tiny error can make a big difference, sometimes turning 1 cent into $100, $1,000, or more. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting.